Hi, so I decided to learn Python but with a small twist. I'm doing it using only AI that's called ChatGPT, no YouTube, no any other websites, just me and ChatGPT. Why? Well, for three main reasons. First, I want to learn Python, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Second, I want to document the real unfiltered process, what it's actually like to learn programming language using only AI. But more importantly, I want to answer a question a lot of people keep asking. Can AI actually teach you how to code? So I'm doing this experiment so you don't have to spend time trying it yourself, because I'll be showing you exactly what works and what doesn't work, and whether this approach is truly worth your valuable time.
Okay guys, so let's start with my request. It's gonna be like, I want you to teach me the Python programming language every day for a week, so that by the last day I can create a small project. Okay, so now you can see ChatGPT gives me plan and tasks for my first day of learning Python. And by the way, I will be coding in VS Code throughout this process, and my goal is to build a small Python project by the end of this week. Okay, so now you can see that I tried to write my code in ChatGPT just to see how it's done there. But I can say that it's really not comfortable to write my code there. So yeah, let me explain this. Two simple lines of code. So where is the name is a variable, then equal input, double quotes, what is your name, and question mark. Print, double quotes, hello, comma, plus name, plus exclamation point. So yeah, it's pretty simple. So just the first two lines of code that I have ever done in Python. So now you will see the process of coding in Python through the week. So it took me a lot of time, but I hope you enjoyed. So for my first day of learning Python, I built some small programs that are really good for beginners. So the first one was a full name display program that asks the user for their first and last name separately, then print a message showing their full name. My second program was a age display. It actually just asks the user for their age and then prints it. For my third task, I created a simple arithmetic program that asks the user to input two numbers and calculate and print their sum, difference, product and quotient. After that, I created a temperature converter. It's basically a program that converts temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit using the formula that I added in my code. And then I created an area of a circle program that asks the user for the radius of a circle, then calculate and print its area using formula. And then my last program for the first day was a name length program that asks the user for their name and print how many characters it contains. Hey, so this is my second day of learning Python, and today I will focus on control flow. Here are 6 tasks that I will start doing in a second. Okay, so my first program asks the user for a number and checks if it's even or odd. Then for my second program, I made a grade checker. It asks the user for a score from 0 to 100 and then prints the corresponding grade. Then for my third program, I created a countdown timer that asks the user for a number and counts down to 0, printing each number along the way. Then I made a multiplication table that prints a multiplication table for a number provided by the user. Then I made a sum of odd numbers, that asks the user for a number n and calculates the sum of all numbers from 1 to n. And for my last program, I made a factorial calculation that writes a program that calculates the factorial of a number provided by the user. Hi, so this is my third day of learning Python so far. Today I made a lot of programs. So the first one was a simple function program. I wrote a function called greet that takes a name as a parameter and prints a greeting message. Then I made a temperature converter with function program. So I wrote a program that uses a function to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. The function should take the Celsius temperature as a parameter and return the Fahrenheit temperature. Then I made a calculator with function program. I created a program with 4 functions: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Each function should take 2 numbers as a parameter and return the results. Then I made a prime number checker. So I made a function that takes a number as input and returns true if the number is prime and false otherwise. Then I made an inverting and using models program. It uses math model to write a program that calculates the square root of a number, the sine of an angle, and the value of a p number. Then I made a Fibonacci sequence with functions. I wrote a Fibonacci function called Fibonacci that takes a number n and prints the first n numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. Then I made a factorial with recursion program. I wrote a recursive function to calculate the factorial of a number. So my last program was a game. I created a simple guess a number game where a random number between 1 and 100 is generated using the random model. The user tries to guess a number. A function checks if the guess is too high or too low or correct. So this is the first day of learning Python, and today I will focus on data structures. So the first program was a list of operations. It asks the user to input 5 numbers, stores these numbers in a list, prints the following: the list in the original order, the list in reverse order, the sum of all numbers in the list, the largest and smallest number in the list. The second program was a word counter. It asks the user for a sentence and splits the sentence into a list of words, prints the total number of words, and prints each word on a new line. The third program was a tuple manipulation. It creates a tuple with at least 5 numbers, prints the tuple, prints the second and fourth elements of the tuple, and prints the sum of all elements in the tuple. Then I made a dictionary operations program. It creates a dictionary of 3 students and their scores, and I need to add a new student and their score, updates one student's score, prints all student names and their scores. Then the fifth program was a set of operations. I wrote a program that creates 2 sets, prints the union of those 2 sets, prints the intersection of the 2 sets, and prints the difference between set A and set B. Then it was a find duplicates in a list program. It asks the user to input the numbers, store them in a list, and find any duplicates. The seventh program was a shopping list. I wrote a program that allows the user to add items to a shopping list, stored in the list, stops asking for input when the user types done, and prints the final shopping list. Then it was a count character frequency program. It asks the user for a word and count how many times each character appears in it. Use a dictionary to store the counts. Then I made a nested dictionary program. It creates a program to store information about the students in a dictionary where each student has their name, age, and a list of their favorite subjects. Then I made a unique words in a sentence program. I ask the user for a sentence and print all unique words in the sentence. So this is the fifth day of learning Python so far, and as ChatGPT says, today I will level up with advanced data structures, list comprehensions, and error handling. So my first program was a phone book using dictionary. So I created a phone book program where the user can add a contact, name, and a phone number. The user can search for a contact by name, the user can delete a contact, and the user can view all contacts. Then I made a list comprehensions and lambda functions program. So it uses a list of comprehension to create a list of squares of numbers from 1 to 10. Then it uses a lambda function to filter out even numbers. Then I had a task to write a program that asks for two numbers and divides them, handling errors like zero division error if dividing by 0 and value error if input is not a number. Then my task was to write a password generator program that asks for password length, uses random choice to create a password with letters, numbers, and symbols, and ensures the password contains at least one number and one symbol. Hi, so this is the sixth day of learning Python, and as ChatGPT says, today I will dive into OOP, Object-Oriented Programming, and Algorithms in Python. So the first task was to create a program that creates a car class with the following properties and methods: attributes, brand, model, year, and method car info that prints the car details. Then the second program was inheritance and polymorphism. The task was to create a person class and student class that inherits from it. Person has name and age, student has name, age and grade. Both have agreed method, but student should override it. Then the third task was to create a program with a function that returns the nth Fibonacci number using recursion and iteration. Then I had a sorting algorithm task that implement bubble sort, a basic sorting algorithm. Then I had to create a bank account class program that creates a bank account class that has attributes owner, balance, has methods like deposit amount that adds money, withdraw amount, subtracts money if balance is sufficient, and show balance that displays the balance. So this is the final day of learning Python using only AI, and I don't have a lot of tasks because it's more about reviewing. So the first program was a reverse string program that reverses the string, obviously. Then the second program was to find the maximum number in a list without max function, and the third program was to count vowels in a string. And then I had to choose the idea for my mini project. So for my final project, I decided to build a small to-do list app using everything I've learned so far. It will be a command line app where users can add tasks, review tasks, mark tasks as done, delete tasks, and save or load tasks using a JSON file.
So after spending a full week learning Python using only AI, specifically ChatGPT, here's my honest takeaway. But first, I will quickly run through pros and cons. So the pros are that you get an instant help when you actually need it. You get immediate answers, code examples, and explanations. So you can also customize your learning. You can ask follow-up questions tailored to your level. So the cons are there is actually a lot of lack of depth in AI. AI often gives surface-level explanations without deeper context. No real debugging practice. You can fix your code, but you don't always learn why it broke. And AI actually may provide working code, but not always clean, efficient, or idiomatic solutions. So while AI is an incredibly helpful tool, I don't actually recommend using it as your only source of information when learning programming languages. Yes, it can explain concepts, generate code, and even walk you through debugging, but relying only on AI has some serious limitations, especially when it comes to deeper understanding, problem-solving skills, and learning how to think like a developer. The best learning happens when you combine resources, tutorials, documentations, projects, community feedback, and yes, AI too. Think of AI as a smart assistant and tool, not a full replacement for the learning journey.